Welcome to the English class 10, and today we are going to discuss the poem A Tiger in the Zoo. If you remember, in the last session I was giving you a few points regarding the national animal of India, that is the tiger. I was giving you some data related to its dwindling numbers and the threats that the tiger is facing today. Now, keeping those numbers and those pieces of information in mind, let us continue with the poem today, because the poem is focused on the freedom of a tiger. I repeat, the poet focuses on the freedom of the tiger. Look at this title. Let's start with the title first. A tiger in the zoo. A tiger not in the forest, but a tiger in the zoo. So, the very title, I believe, would be able to give you some hint at what the poet is going to tell us. The poet focuses on the pathetic condition, the deplorable condition, the sad state of a tiger's confinement in the zoo. What do you mean by confinement? Putting an animal behind the bars in a small cramped space, inhibiting its free movement, making a barrier to its freedom, or barring the tiger from roaming freely in the jungle is known as confinement. So in this poem, the tiger is confined to a small cage where it is unable to move. And therefore, the poet says that people have not shown any sensitivity as far as the freedom of this animal is concerned. So, sensitivity to animals, being kind to them, understanding and respecting their freedom, their rights and their feelings is very, very important. That exactly is the focus. You see, wild animals are habituated to live in the forest. Forest is their habitat. Just as we human beings love to remain in our home, move about freely in our home, and do things whatever we like, do things to our own choice, the wild animals also would like to remain free and happy in the jungles, in their habitats, in the woods. But when you bring a tiger or any wild animal for that sake and put it behind a bar and lock it up and make it a showpiece, that is where you begin to be insensitive to the animal. So where the rights of the animal are infringed, when you deny the rights of an animal, when you deny the freedom of that animal, and when you refuse to understand the feelings of an animal, that is the moment you are being insensitive to the animal. Human beings have feelings. We get angry, we are happy sometimes, we are sad, sometimes we are very much surprised, excited. These are our feelings. We also feel the pain in our body when somebody kind of hits us or when we get hurt. It is the same with the animals. They too have pleasures. They too have pains. They too have feelings and emotions like that. So don't you think that we should understand their emotions? Don't you think we should understand their feelings? Don't you think we should give them the right to live freely in the jungle or in any kind of forest? That exactly is the point that the poet is driving at. You see, a tiger in captivity is a showpiece. When you put a tiger behind the bars, for example in a zoo, what happens? The tiger is unable to move freely, it is behind the bars, and it becomes a showpiece to the people or to the spectators. So everyone who passes by and looks at the tiger becomes a showpiece. They are not supposed to be showpieces. They are supposed to live independently, enjoy their freedom in the forest. And, you see, a tiger or any wild animal for that sake does not frighten people unless they are provoked. Provoked in the sense you disturb them, you torture them, you frighten them. Only in these situations, only when the animal is provoked does it start killing the person. Otherwise, they go about doing their own business. This is something which we should keep in mind. And a tiger kept in captivity is made lazy. It is not active, it becomes inactive. A tiger or a lion or a jackal or a fox or any animal for that sake moves, roams freely in the jungle. It enjoys its freedom, does whatever it likes. But when you put an animal behind the bars, when the animal is kept in captivity, that is the time the animal becomes lazy. So here, when you read the poem, when we discuss the poem, we will come to understand that the tiger moves in a very uneasy manner. It takes only short steps because the room is a small one. So it is lazy, it becomes lazy. It is unable to kind of hunt. It is unable to run and attack and kind of kill the food, kill the prey that it likes. It is made to remain lazy. And it learns to hate people. Hate is not a very good feeling. We are human beings. We are supposed to love each other, support each other, motivate each other, encourage each other, and appreciate the goodness in others. That is what we have been created for. But can you imagine an animal which begins to hate people because of its captivity? That is really sad. So what happens to the tiger in the cage? It does not like to look at the human beings or the spectators who come to have a look at the tiger. It turns its face the other side because it has become fed up with human beings. It is frustrated. It has become sad and hopeless, and therefore it does not want to look at human beings. So when an animal begins to hate a human being, there must be definitely some reason behind it. And in this poem, it is the captivity of the tiger that makes it hate the human beings. Okay, this exactly is the kind of theme of this poem. Now let us get into the first stanza. There are 4 or 5 stanzas in the poem. We will start with the first stanza. He stalks in his vivid stripes. He stalks in his vivid stripes. What is the meaning of he here? The word he here refers to the tiger. So, the poet does not call the tiger as it, but he calls the tiger as he, which means the animal, the tiger, is being projected as a human being. So this poetic device is known as personification. What do you mean by personification? When an animal is projected as a human being, when it is treated as a human being, that device is known as personification. Here, the tiger is personified. Coming to the next word, he stalks in his vivid stripes. What is the meaning of stalks? Walking boldly. Tiger is a majestic animal. If you remember, we discussed this point in the last session. It's an animal with its own identity, with its own boldness, with its courage and with its majesty. That's why we have chosen tiger as the national animal of India. He stalks in his vivid stripes. What is the meaning? It walks boldly in his vivid stripes. Vivid means clear. Stripes, what is the stripe? Or what are the stripes that the poet is talking about? If you look at the body of a tiger, you will find its body is full of black stripes. So with a yellow background, you have black stripes. This is what is meant by vivid stripes. What is the meaning of vivid stripes? Vivid stripes means colored stripes. So the black stripes are very clearly seen. They are very prominent. So he walks, he stalks There is a difference between walking and stalking. Walking is just an ordinary way of taking steps, but stalking is walking majestically. The bold and the tiger, which is personified, walks boldly with his colors or the stripes on his body. Where does he walk? He walks in his room. He walks in his cell, which is a very small and a limited one. The space in the cell is very limited, but still the tiger walks the few steps of his cage. So, he is unable to walk very freely because the cell or the room in which he is caged is small. But still, he takes small, short and steady steps and it moves around. It moves back and forth. It moves back and forth not in a free manner but in a restricted manner. A few steps of his cage. He is confined and he is cramped. He is put in a kind of cell which is cramped, which is so limited in space. On pads of velvet quiet. What do you mean by on pads of velvet quiet? Pads of velvet means soft paws of velvet. If you look at the paws of a tiger, they are very soft. So what happens here is, the poet describes the paws of the tiger. The paws of the tiger are as soft and as comfortable as velvet, because velvet is a very soft stuff. And the paws of the tiger, which is as soft as velvet, is being described here. So here it is a metaphor. What is a metaphor? When you compare one thing directly to another, that is known as a metaphor. Here the paws of the tiger are directly compared to the velvet, which is very soft. So the soft velvet paws are there on the ground of the room, and the tiger takes very slow and steady steps. It is not able to move about freely. So in the first two lines or in the first three lines, the poet very clearly speaks about the movement of the tiger, which is a restricted movement, which is not a free movement. And he indirectly says that it is in captivity, not very happy. So the point that you need to remember is the tiger is not happy. Why not happy? Because of the small space that he has been given to move around. And then, in his quiet rage, look at these words. He has chosen the words very carefully. In his quiet rage. Rage refers to anger. Quiet rage. He is silent. He is not able to protest. He is not able to break open the cage. It is not able to act freely. Therefore, he is angry. Angry, but his anger cannot be shown out. Therefore, he is silent. So, the tiger is silently suffering. He is a silent sufferer. He suffers in that small room in silence, and he is not able to protest. He is not able to show any opposition. It is not able to break free from the shackles, or it is not able to break open the cage. That is what the poet says. So once again, he stalks in his vivid stripes. The tiger moves, majestically in the room with the stripes on his body, and he is able to take only a few steps because the room is very small, and his legs, the paws, are as soft as velvet. But the last line, he is angry, but he is silent because he is not able to show his anger out. Why is he angry? Because he has been locked. An animal which is used to roam freely in the jungle or in the forest is being put in a cage. So his freedom is curtailed. His freedom is taken away from him. Therefore, he is angry, but angry with the silence. Then we come to the next stanza. He should be lurking in shadow. Now, I remind you one thing. The poet is shifting back to the jungle. This poem shifts to the jungle as well as to the zoo. So in some stanzas, you will see the poet talking about the condition of the tiger in the zoo. And in some stanzas, you will see the poet talking about the freedom of tiger, the way it lives in the jungle. Now, he spoke about the tiger's condition in the zoo. Now, he is shifting his attention. He is switching back to the jungle. How should the tiger be? What kind of life should the tiger live? Look at this. He should be lurking in shadow. What is the meaning of lurking? It means hiding. He should be hiding in shadow, sliding through the long grass. Where is the tiger supposed to live? It is supposed to live in jungle or in jungles. And how does a tiger attack a prey? It hides itself behind the grass, or it hides itself behind the trees, and slowly it follows the prey. That is very important. The movement of the tiger is being described in this stanza, and in the stanza the poet says, the tiger which is supposed to be hiding in the jungle in order to catch his prey is now put behind the bars and is not able to move properly. So he should be hiding in the shadow, sliding through the long grass. What is the meaning of sliding through the long grass? The tiger usually hides itself amidst grass. So, you can imagine the situation here. It's a very clear description. The tiger is trying to hide amidst grasses. So, it's not a small grass that is growing, but it is a long kind of grass, and the tiger is hiding behind the grass. And why is it hiding? It is hiding in order to jump upon a prey or just to spring upon a prey and attack that animal. So he's hiding. He is waiting in silence near the water hole. What is the meaning of water hole? A water body where there is a little bit of water. Kind of spring you can say, or a kind of stream you can say, or you can say a kind of small river. It is hiding near a river, or it is hiding near a water body. Why? Because the animal would come to drink water. Look at the next slide. Where plump deer pass. Which is the animal? Plump deer. What is the meaning of plump? Fat. So the tiger is waiting. He is waiting near the water body. He is hiding himself in the grass, waiting for a deer to pass. So the moment a fat, plump, healthy deer comes near the water body, the tiger will jump on it and he will eat him up. So this is how the tiger is meant to live. This is the natural way of the tiger's living. But here, the tiger lives an artificial life. The tiger lives an artificial life. And what do you mean by artificial life? When the tiger is not able to exercise its freedom, when the tiger is confined to a room, when the tiger is not able to move about freely, that is known as an artificial life. So, the poet is making a very clear distinction between a natural life, the natural life of a tiger, and the artificial life of a tiger. So, the natural life of a tiger gives freedom to it. But an artificial life of a tiger takes away the freedom of it. So with these two stanzas we wind up today's class. There are another two stanzas, and those two stanzas talk about some deeper things. Definitely we will discuss in the next session. But for the time being, keep the theme of the poem. The theme of the poem is be sensitive to animals. Give them the freedom, understand their feelings, and understand that they too, like human beings, have right or have the right to live. So respecting the rights of wild animals is the most important thing that we should do today, because we can understand that the number of tigers, the number of lions, and the number of wild animals are decreasing day after day. So it is the first and foremost responsibility of human beings to protect wildlife, understand their rights, and love them. Till we meet again, goodbye and stay safe at home.